Now that you've created an empty shapefile to store the digitized information, you will perform a coordinate transformation, also known as georeferencing, on the source data set so that it's in an Earth-based coordinate system. To perform this task, you will be using a plugin. Plugins are small add-ons into QGIS. Some are created by the core QGIS development team, and others are created by third-party developers. So first, open QGIS Desktop and QGIS Browser, and then move QGIS Browser off to the side to where you can see both QGIS Desktop and QGIS Browser. And then in the Lab folder, click and drag parcels from QGIS Browser into QGIS Desktop and release it. And you'll see that this is yet another way to add data to QGIS Desktop. Now let's check that on-the-fly coordinate transformation is on. So click Project, Project Properties, CRS tab, and check Enable on-the-fly CRS transformation. And also just double check that we're in the right coordinate system that we set previously. Okay, click OK. Let's go ahead and save our work. So click the Save button, and in your lab directory, save it as lab5.qgis. Okay, now click Plugins, Manage and Install Plugins. Click the Installed tab, and go down until you see Georeference or GDAL. And if it's not checked, go ahead and check that box. And then click Close. And that enables the plugin. To open the plugin, click Raster, Georeferencer, Georeferencer. And that will open up the Georeferencer window. Now we want to load in the raster that we want to georeference. So in the Georeferencer window, click Open Raster. And in your lab directory, open zone_map.bitmap. The Coordinate Reference System selector opens. Since this bitmap does not have a CRS, we're going to click Cancel. The source data we're looking at here is a map. On this map there are 5 points with their associated names. So here, 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 and here. These are benchmarks maintained by the United States National Geodetic Survey. The georeferences scan map, we will create control points at these 5 locations. The plugin will then develop a georeferencing equation based off the set source and target coordinates at these 5 locations. QGIS will obtain the source coordinates from your mouse clicks on those points, and you're going to look up the target coordinates for those benchmarks from the National Geodetic Survey website. So in a web browser, bring up the National Geodetic Survey website, which is ngs.noaa.gov. And as a side note here, if you're unable to access the internet or you want to skip getting the data sheets have been downloaded and saved in the Lab 5 folder, the Lab 5 NGS datasheets folder. So you can just watch the next few steps to learn how the NGS datasheets are acquired, or you can skip past the Getting the Datasheets section. So on the website, we're going to click Data and Imagery, and then select Survey Marked Data Sheets, and then scroll down, and under Search By, where it says Station Names, click the For Text Data Sheets button, and that'll bring you here. So we're going to scroll down, and for the station name, we're going to pull the first station name off the map here, which is I-25 space 27. So we're going to type in capital I-25 space 27, and we're going to choose the state of New Mexico. We're then going to click Submit to start the search. And you should get these results here. And so it returned one station. So we're going to select that station and then click Get Data Sheets. And that returns the NGS data sheet for that station. And on that data sheet, if we scroll down, we're looking for the latest position here. And here we are. That's the position we're looking for. It's New Mexico Central State Plain, and it's in feet. And so we're interested in the northing and the easting values. So just one thing to note here, this first dash, that does not make this number a negative. It is simply a field separator. So for I-25-27, we have the northing and the easting. And so my next step would be to write that down. and then find the next station. So I'm going to go back, and the next station I'm looking for is I-25 space 28. I'll then make sure that New Mexico is selected and click Submit. Here's the result. Select it and click Get Datasheet. Oops. And then scroll down. And once again, I'm interested in this line right here. Make sure you're getting the one that says feet. And so at this point, it's just a repeating process. Then we want to go 29. Select the results, get data sheets. Scroll down. Once again, there's my result. And then go back. And the next one is called K space 15 space S. Get the data sheet. Scroll down. Once again, here's the results. And then lastly, the last station name is Stadium. Click Submit. Select the result. And then scroll down and grab the location. Okay, so with all those locations, I went ahead and wrote them down here. So I'm going to push those off to the side so I can reference them here in just a moment. We can now go back to QGIS Desktop and the georeferencer. So we're going to enter the control points in the georeferencer. So we're going to click the Add Point button. And it's important that we're precise here and click directly on the point. So to make my selection more precise, I can use the zoom and pan tools using this toolbar right over here. So I'm going to zoom in really pretty close to that I-25-27. Click Add Point. And I'm going to click right in the middle of that point. And when I do that, it's going to ask me for the coordinates. And so I have to enter the easting first. And so that's 1524.608.32. And then the northing, 1484.404.48. And then I'll click OK. And then I will zoom all the way back out to the layer. And next we'll zoom into 28. Same thing, click the middle of the point, give the easting. So 1523.645.14, 148.2436.21. Zoom back out, go to the next one. So let's go to 29 here. Add point. Click in the middle. And let's see, this is 1523.925.76 and 148.0815.96. Okay. Let's see here. Yep. And so zoom back out. And now I'm going to zoom to the K15S. Add my point right in the middle. And so the easting is 152.6449.41. My northing is 148.2056.69. And for the last one is Stadium. So once again, we're going to zoom down there to Stadium. Add a point right here. And enter 152.6925.10 and 147.9718.38. And now I have little red dots in all 5 of my control points. And so we know we are good to go. All right. So now let's perform the transformation, but really we're going to prepare the transformation. So we're going to click the Start Georeferencing, and it's going to ask us to set the transformation type. And we're going to click OK. Now we're going to set up all of our transformation settings. So the first thing we should do is set the transformation type as polynomial 1. The resampling method as nearest neighbor. Then we need to set the output raster. So where do we want to save the new file? So again, in my lab 5 data folder, we're going to name it zone map modified _ spcs.tif and click save. Next to the target coordinate reference system, I'm going to click the select CRS button. And this time I'm going to take the shortcut and just type in 3618, which is the EPSG code for our coordinate reference system. I'm going to select it and click OK. I'm going to make sure that load in QGIS when done is checked. I'm going to click OK. That sets the options. And now when I click Start Georeferencing, it'll actually perform the georeferencing. You'll see a little note here saying that it's been successful. So I'm going to close it. And it's going to ask me if I want to save the ground control points. I'm going to click Save, because I do. And what that actually does is if I open up my lab folder and scroll down to the bottom here, you'll notice next to the original source data, there's a .points file. So if I ever open up the georeferencer again and selected this bitmap and the points file was in the same directory, it would go ahead and load all the ground control points for me automatically. So it's a nice way to kind of get back to where I left off, or if I need to modify my rectification in the future. Alright, so we can't see the location because the map wasn't zoomed to the right place. I wasn't quite sure where it was. So what I'm going to do is in the Layers panel, I'm going to right click on Zone Map Modified and then choose Zoom to Layer. And now we can see as I move my mouse around, see the coordinates down here? You can see that we're actually in a coordinate reference system. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to click the Add Vector Data button. Make sure File is selected and then click Browse. And in our lab folder, choose NetCur and click Open and Open. And I'm going to go ahead and change the color here real quick. And these are the streets in the area. So we can see that these streets actually line up quite well. So that really helps verify that our map is in the right place.